We have got Dan and Shay on Pure Country. How are you guys?
So good. Hey, I love the old Dan and Shay hoodie right there. Come on,
I
let's
had
go.
had to
That's
rep
the
it.
greatest piece of merch we've ever put out. Like it's all gone downhill from there. So
Well,
you got the
just
best one.
do a different color and just redo it. But I got engaged in this hoodie, so this is a very special
No
hoodie.
way.
That's
That's
amazing.
Yes.
sick.
I did
Yeah,
not
I
know
know.
that. That is a
Mm-hmm.
nice tidbit of
I
info
know.
there. That's
Steven was
sick.
like, "Come on, Dan and Shay, really? You're trying to like steal my
Yeah, that's
moment
awesome.
here?"
We really got to lock on that marriage market. You know what I
You
mean?
did. I know. Yes. So you guys are back. I talked to you last November, I believe, CMA. You promised 2026 would have a lot of new music. So first one is here. How does it feel?
It feels so good. It's funny that that was the last time we talked because that was a very pivotal week in our career and in our lives. Like up to that point, we had made kind of a collection of songs or almost a full album worth of stuff that like we ended up scrapping, which was crazy. It was like it
Oh
was
no.
a bunch of like fun, catchy songs or whatever that might come out at some point. But
Okay.
it just like we had this like midlife crisis. We were at the BMI Awards that week, probably literally the night we talked to you, I think. It was that morning when
Probably.
you
Yep.
came and did all the interviews, and we were there, and Bigger Houses was winning an award, and that song is just like it just means a lot to us. You know, that was a very
Hmm.
special song, and it got played over the speakers, and a bunch of songwriters came up to us, and we're just like, man, what an incredible song! You guys should be proud of that one. And we were like, man, are these songs we're working on like, did they stack up? Are they better than this? Are they in this? And we were just like, we need to write something from the heart, something personal. So we kind of like went back to the drawing board the next week and just started writing stuff like Bigger Houses because that song was like exactly where our
Yeah.
feet were planted at the time we wrote it. And we just were telling stories about our lives, the snapshots of like what we're actually going through. And I don't know, I think having that like big pivot allowed us to really tap into like where we are as men, you know, at this point in our lives and at this point in our career. And we hit this wave of inspiration and creativity for a few weeks that just was like, it felt like making our first album again, where it was like, you know,
Yeah.
we just finished a song. Crap. Okay, well, here's another idea. Let's get another one. It was just like coming to us. But Say So was in that week or two that, you know, right after the CMAs. We were sharing stories about Ben Vaughn. I'm sure you've met him over the years, but Ben was
Yeah.
the first guy to believe in us, you know, signed us to our first publishing deal, introduced us to our record label that we're still with after all these years, and was a close friend. We lost him a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
He was just on our hearts. We were in the room writing with Jimmy and David, you know, two of our other friends, songwriting buddies. We all knew and loved Ben very well, and we were just talking about him that day. It was, you know, his name was in the air, and we were like, we should write a song just about what we're saying right now. And we were about halfway through writing Say So, and it was just like way maybe heavier and more serious. You know, we're like Shay said, we're the wedding song guys. You know, we usually write sweet love songs about our wives, but we were just like, this might not be a Dan and Shay song, but he's on our hearts today. We owe it to Ben. We owe it to ourselves to get this one to the finish line, and we did. And I came home and played the demo for Abby, and she was like, "That's beautiful. You guys would write that as a tribute to Ben on his birthday." We didn't know it was his birthday, or would have been his 50th birthday that day,
Oh my
and
gosh.
we were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, okay, now this is more than a Dan and Shay song. This is bigger than us. Like, this is meant to happen. That's more than coincidence to me. And we knew it needed to be the first single, even though it is a heavy, serious topic. We feel like it's an important topic that we need to talk about, that we need to be open about. And the response so far has just been unbelievable. So yeah, I'm glad it's out there. And I don't know, I'm just proud to stand behind the message. We hope the song smashes and becomes a big hit and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if it helps one person, if it's, you know, saves one life, that was a success for us. And we mean that.
Yeah.
So it feels good to have that kind of conviction on a first single like this.
For sure. And as soon as I heard it, I knew without even, seeing a press release or knowing anything that the reasoning behind it. But it's such a uplifting, like to bring people in and hopefully, like you said, someone hears it who maybe is in a dark place and it's not a dark, heavy song. It's like there's so much support around you kind of song. And I'm sure you guys, like you've experienced that. You probably have your core group of people that are your community that you turn to during that time. Did you have like a group of people that were the first ones to listen to it that you were like kind of nervous to send it to first?
I mean, definitely. I think for when we finished the song, we had shared it kind of obviously with our families first, and kind of just the people that were around us and some of our team. And a lot of times, especially for a song like that, like we didn't know if it would ever come out in the world. We just knew that we loved the message of hope, and obviously like the reason behind it was very special to us. But the way that immediately the people around us in our immediate circle were reacting to this song, it was just, we knew right away, for one thing, that this was definitely a Dan and Shay thing and had to come out first because it felt like there was urgency to it. The way that it was affecting not only us, but the people around us, it was like, this song has to come out in the world because it's going to help somebody. And even for us, talking about it, like us being here talking with you, it's the whole point of the song. Like we are having conversations about, not being okay it's okay to say that to somebody. It's okay to reach out. And especially us as men, like we struggle with that a lot of times to, be honest, not only with other people, but like ourselves, first of all, and kind of admitting like, hey, I need to talk to somebody about this. And we both talk to somebody, we have therapists, and, we talk with our wives, and we now have learned with a lot of, failures to do so over the years, we've learned that that's a very important thing to do in your life. And it's just not always easy. And this message obviously is a very heavy topic, but like you said, at the end of the day, it really is such a message of hope, for anybody who's struggling out there, say something. And there's always going to be somebody there, whether it's a friend or a family member, there's somebody there to talk to, somebody there on the other end of the line. And it's just it's a crazy thing to be a part of. Dan mentioned this earlier, but it feels a lot bigger than Dan and Shay. Like this is, we feel like we're the lucky ones to get to kind of bring this message of hope. But yeah, it was pretty wild to us watching just the immediate reaction from the people around us. And we knew that we had something special we needed to get out into the world, and hearing the reaction from fans and people who have maybe never even listened to Dan and Shay before, hearing this song for the first time and being touched in the way that they've been touched was just, it was overwhelming. I mean, the response has been absolutely crazy. Usually it's like, you put out a song and it's, hey, I like this song. I like listening to this driving down the road. This song was just novels of people sharing their story with us, and it was just absolutely incredible and very inspiring. And a lot of military families and all these people that just it was so many different stories, and it wasn't just the topic that we touched on. It was people that were going through other things, like cancer and all of these different hardships that they're going through, and it was just a beautiful thing to watch people share that. And that's the whole point of the song, is that we're getting to be here talking about it, and I think making a difference. And it's an incredible thing to be able to do that with a song. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy time. Like I remember, so I work for Pure Country, but like our parent company is Bell, and we have something that's called Bell Let's Talk Day every year, and it's literally just to talk about mental health and like share about it and make it feel like a safe space. Which when I started in radio like 9-10 years ago, like mental health was not something that you spoke openly about. So the fact that we're not only in a time where I feel like we can talk about it and it's okay, but we can also listen to songs about it, and like there weren't as many songs that really spoke to those kinds of things. So I'm like, kudos to you guys. I was like, I had tears in my eyes when I first listened, because I was like, they're back, and like with a song like this is just like so special. Every year I've seen you guys for like the last 2 years, you've been like, I promise it's coming. I'm like, yes, it's here. And it's so good. Like, do you guys feel just like a lightness around you that it's out? Because I feel like it feels like that listening to it.
Yeah, big time. It feels really good to be back. Honestly, like we've kind of been taking it slow.
You've been here. Yeah.
We've got a new team that's just like absolutely killing it for us. They're Canadian. We love Canadians. We've surrounded ourselves
Go
with
Canada.
Canadians. They do everything better. They're the best. Shout out to the core, Chief Simon Tracy. We just love them so much. But yeah, it feels really good that this song is in the world. It feels good to have like any new song come out to start a new era, but especially this one. Like we feel like we've kind of, I don't know, it's just an important chapter of our career and important chapter of our lives. It gives us a good excuse to come tour in Canada again. We keep saying it. I know we always tease it every time we see you, but like we're legit like gonna do it big this time. It's usually like we'll pop into Toronto, do one show. Like Bud Stage always, I think they changed the name actually. It always goes crazy, but we need to do a proper like cross Canada tour, because we just have so much support, from all over the place. And I don't know, y'all have been patient with us because we haven't been able to come up there as much as we would have liked to, and we're gonna change that.
That's
but
okay.
It feels really good. Like you said, there's a lightness about it, just the fact that we have new music out there, getting texts from fellow artists and folks in radio and industry people like, hey guys, good to see you back. I haven't posted on social media in like a year, and I'm popping off on socials now. It's like just kind of being back in the ether it feels really good. I don't know. We're
guys
fans
always
of country music at the core of all this, and to be back in the mix and it's just awesome.
You guys always hold true to your promises, so I have no doubt that you guys will do a tour here very soon. Last time I talked to you, you had just done the Back to December cover, the Taylor Swift, and we said we were going to manifest like a T Swift, DanandShay collab. How's that going?
Oh man, I just talked to her on the phone. I didn't. We'll see. We're still putting it out. She's busy with
She's
wedding
busy.
plans and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it could
let
be
us know
so
if you hear
cool
from
though.
her.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I hear. I will. I'll keep an eye out for it. But does this next chapter of music for you guys, is collaboration a focus, or are you guys kind of just sticking to like DanandShay solo?
We're figuring that out right now. I have a shared notes document in my phone about potential collab ideas and some folks we've talked to. But the tricky thing about this album that we're making is so personal. So it's tough to be like, well, we should just throw this person on, like, to sing our story. It's like we gotta find the right song that makes sense with the right artist. But there could be a collab possibly or two on the album. We're not sure yet.
Cool.
But yeah, that's the tricky thing, full disclosure on this is that everything is just so personal and it's like from our hearts. So I don't know. I feel like collabs are fun and it's a cool way to like we share monthly listeners or whatever, but it's like at this point in our career, it's got to make sense for us and the other artists. It's got to feel genuine and there's got to be a reason for it. So we love collaborating, but we'll see what happens.
We collaborate. I mean, I feel like every song we do is a collaboration. It's just like
100%.
What do you think about it? And that's a big thing for this album, like Dan mentioned. Like this was a full collaboration. Dan and I wrote every song together, and it's
that's cool.
I think that makes it really, really special, especially for what it is. And when you hear it, you'll get it. And I think that's just we're always collaborating with each other. There's always going to be it's DanandShay, and it's like it does make it difficult to bring somebody else into that sometimes. But who knows what'll happen? I think if it's meant to be, then something then it's meant to be. It'll be. But yeah, I'm excited. I think they just have to, whoever it potentially could be, it's going to have to be personal to them like it is to us.
Yeah.
Which will make it really fun. If that does work out, then it'll work out in a big way. So yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to write a wedding song for Taylor Swift.
There we go.
Yes,
right?
About getting engaged while wearing a DanandShay hoodie.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll send her this one. It's got good luck vibes.
I love it. That's perfect.
Have you guys started designing new merch? Is it like in the works?
Yeah. We got some coming. Maybe this week, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we've
keep my
got
eyes out for that.
few options. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Before we go, I have to ask, because I saw your texting thread, Shay, with Hannah with the mountain lion experience, and I know Dan, you've had some weird deer experiences in your backyard in past years.
Things they are happening in Nashville, aren't they? It's crazy.
Yeah. What is it with you guys in wildlife? I feel like
They're just, I don't know, maybe it's I feel like, is it Cinderella that sings and the animals come around? Maybe that's it. We're always singing. And
Snow White.
That might
Snow
be
White.
Snow
You guys
White.
are.
Snow White. There was. Hey, that's why I asked. Not a big Cinderella guy. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Nashville is very unique, especially where Dan and I live. There's a lot of trees and things, and there are so many deer around Nashville. And growing up in Arkansas, like there's deer everywhere. But I think I've seen more deer being in Nashville than I ever did in Arkansas. There'll just be packs of like 15, 16 deer just running around in like a residential area. You're like, where do you guys go? Where are you guys hanging out at?
They're lost. They're confused. They're like, we don't know what's happening.
Okay, quickly before we go, 2026, if you guys could manifest one thing for DanandShay, what would it be?
Oh, if we could manifest one thing for DanandShay, let's see.
Going to Canada would be pretty good.
Honestly, it would be
manifest
sick.
that pretty easy. Yeah, I think for us, I think that this song, and it's from the response we've already gotten, it's doing this. But I really hope that this song reaches the people that it's supposed to reach. I think for a song like this, obviously us as artists, we want as many people to hear this. Usually because it's like, obviously we want to have a big song and we want to be able to get out there on the road. But especially with a song like this, like I hope that everybody who is supposed to hear this hears this and kind of feels it in that moment, that I was meant to hear this message, and I was meant to hear that bit of hope, and whoever's supposed to hear it needs to hear it. And if you share it with somebody, share the song. If somebody's going through something and kind of, if you can be that person on the other end of that line, to kind of drop that on somebody of like, hey, just so you know, like I'm always here. I think we can all do a little bit better of a job of being proactive with these kind of things. I think that there's a line in there, and there's so many lines that hit me, but it never really comes out of nowhere, with this kind of stuff. And I think it's good to be proactive check on your friends and make sure everybody's doing good. We all have to do that and get it out to the world. So yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much, Dan and Shay. New music. We'll see you in Canada soon. And I'll pick up my new tie-dye Dan and Shay hoodie.
You're the best. So good to see you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.